Part 4 is more about sort of like an injury mechanism or a pain trigger that certain people could experience. So the flexing of the spine, the loading of the spine is a better way of talking about it. And that being an injury mechanism and how robust is the spine against load. So it is therefore challenging to appreciate how a weightlifter performing approximately 20 to 25,000 repetitions of a multi-joint lifting exercise each year does not incur a lumbar disc herniation, vertebral body fracture, end plate fracture, or damage to the neural arch. That does happen because there is an example of that in a book back there called The Gift of Injury, which is written by, in part, Brian McCarroll, who's a powerlifter, world record holding powerlifter. Go and look him up, go and read his story, go and learn about what he's teaching people, because it's useful information. So this quote goes back to capacity, tolerance, conditioning of the individual, because there is no reason why they can't do this. It just depends on a few things. There's no reason why anyone can't do this. It just depends. Their tolerance for reps, so their tolerance to be able to do it multiple times, versus how many they do it. So their tolerance is obviously they're able to tolerate 20 to 25,000 repetitions. If there is zero pain involved, they're able to tolerate 20 to 25,000. Now, why are they able to tolerate 20 to 25,000 reps of multi-joint lifting exercises? Well, it could be because they recover adequately and properly. Not only do they recover between workouts properly, they recover between sets properly, and even potentially between reps properly. So they don't rush through the reps. They then rest properly in the sets, which then sort of leads on to the next two, which is they've got good session structure. So they've got adequate rest, recovery. They've got adequate warm-up. They've got adequate tissue conditioning, i.e. creating the range of movement needed to be able to do it. So they create the range of movement, they activate the muscles, they warm up the muscles, so they don't just jump in at the deep end and lift 20 to 25,000. Because if we go back to our occupational person, they've just had their boss tell them, I need you to move those 50 boxes from there to there in 30 minutes, go. There's no warm-up, there's no potential for rest, there's no sort of range of movement, sort of prep. There's nothing there, but the weight room can have that. Now, with that said, there are plenty of people in the weight room that are damaging their spines, because I come across them, I speak to them, I read their comments, so on and so forth. And then finally, the program as a whole, it will depend on. So not only the individual session structure, but over the month, over the 6 months, over the year, there is going to be a program structure as well. So they won't be doing the same weight all year round. They won't be going through a linear fashion over 12 months of gradually increasing the weight. There's going to be dips, there's going to be increases, there's going to be more dips, and that's built into the program. So they'll be doing different sessions. They'll be doing lighter sessions, they'll be doing heavier sessions throughout the week and throughout the months and throughout the year. So again, we have to take that into consideration when we're talking about why weightlifters can do that. That doesn't mean that a person who starts going to the gym, that occupational person that we talked about, let's just say they damage their back, or they think, I'm going to damage my back, I need to go to the gym, they wouldn't start doing 20 to 25,000 reps of multi-joint lifting exercises throughout a year. It would need to be a gradual build-up to build the tolerance, to build the capacity, to be able to tolerate the load, so that when they have to move those 50 boxes again from where they've just moved them to another place, they'll be able to do it much more easily. So, again, it's therefore challenging to appreciate how a weightlifter performing approximately 20 to 25,000 repetitions of multi-joint exercises each year does not incur. It's like, why should they? Just because it's that many reps doesn't mean they're going to injure their spine. It's not the total number of something that will damage it. It's how it's done. The recovery, the warm-up, the program structure, the session structure, how it builds up through the first few months of the year and then it drops off to add a little bit more recovery, how they change each workout day by day, how they use reps and sets to manipulate recovery so they don't always go heavy. They don't always do low rep, heavy weight. Sometimes they'll do higher rep, lighter weight. So it's not as easy as being able to just say that and use that as a means of justifying why someone can do something and someone else can't do it or should be able to do it or whatever. So yes, it's not as simple as just saying, well, if I can do it, then why can't you do it? You have to take the individual into consideration.